to the Sean&Sean podcast. We are finally doing another wrestling podcast today. But look a little bummy. It's probably because we're doing this in the wee earlies of the morning. Sean, how you feeling bright and early on today?
You know, normally I'd say I'm feeling a little bit tired, but we're talking about the wrestling this morning. We're back to our wrestling family. So that coffee have me awake. So I am good to go.
Very nice, very nice. So we're just going to jump right into it. Full lineup for you. So first, we're going to do our late recap of the Rumble. I know, we're way past that, but we got to do the late recap. You guys maybe were not our minimal amount of fans wondering who won our little side bet, which we know who won it.
That guy, yeah.
But it was not without some sort of drama. It wasn't a landslide. There was some good stuff that happened with the Rumble. I actually thoroughly enjoyed the Rumble. I've heard other people say, it was okay. Now, I actually really enjoyed both Rumbles. I think the people who were deservingly to win won. I think there's deservingly people who were in the final 5-4, and I mean, my only issue with the Rumble right now is okay, you brought Christian back for the Rumble, but I would like to see Christian on one of the shows after the Rumble.
Yeah, he's one of those veterans that comes back, and you're thinking, is this just a one-show appearance? Is this going to be maybe a little storyline they create? I'm with you. I'd like to see Christian a little bit of a storyline here.
It'd be fun. Now, no, most of the matches for the Rumble were solid. Carmella and Sasha wasn't necessary. Solid match still. Roman and Kevin Owens wasn't necessary. Solid match still, except for the little kerfuffle with Paul Heyman. Now, the match that was unnecessary was Drew McIntyre and Goldberg. That did not need to happen. Goldberg looked physically broken after the match. I felt bad for him, honestly. That man, no, leave him out the ring. I'm sorry, but leave him out the ring.
Yeah, thinking back in that match, did we get the right outcome? Did we get the right outcome with Drew winning? I think the answer to that one is yes. Did we get what we expected from that match? At first, I was really disappointed by what I saw. But then I think more, I'm like, when has Goldberg ever lasted more than 2-3 minutes in a match? And it's been a long time since that happened. So I'm thinking, did we get what we expected? We really did. Shame on us if we expected that. Goldberg definitely looked tired. He looked beaten. He looked winded, like he hadn't been in action in years. Guess what? It made sense. He hasn't been in action in years. He has a contract that gives him 2 matches per year. You can't expect him to be in good shape. So shame on me for having my expectations so high for that match.
It wasn't even the match itself. It was after the match that disappointed me. You had Goldberg, looking back at Drew, what the hell? Goldberg, it's like you said, he's younger and more spry than you. Sorry.
No. You have Goldberg like this. You have Goldberg hands on hips, leaning over because he can't breathe, barely able to walk himself up a ramp after. Now, the action in the match was good. They even had the action preceding the match, which was good. But, Goldberg just so tired, so out of place in that ring. Get him away from the ring. Get him away from title shots. Move on. And yes, I'm still sour that he took the Universal title off my boy Bray Wyatt. Fiends. Last year at the Super Showdown. Yes, I am
unceremoniously.
That doesn't change how I feel about Goldberg, or as I like to call him now, for.
Now, we're not going to spend too much time on the Rumble. I mean, we gave our little bit of thoughts there. You guys have heard this before. We're going to move on to the most recent takeover for NXT, which probably was the most
quick.
Okay.
We pause real quick just on the Rumble. Want to give a shout out to all the people who played along with us in doing Rumble predictions. And a special shout out goes to EJ in Plainfield, who had correctly predicted that Edge was going to win the Men's Royal Rumble. Nice job, TJ. Nice job.
There you go. Well then. Well, all right. Moving on to TakeOver. I know we didn't do a pod before TakeOver. We did do our little predictions. Someone won again. So as far as this pod goes, I'm 2-0. But I only won because someone on this pod decided to make an insane prediction, which, more power to you. You just knew it wasn't going to happen. And we'll get to that.
Well,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let's go. Let's start with the first match. The first one was it's the match I liked the least. And it was the finals for the Women's Dusty Cup. It was Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. You know how I feel about Raquel Gonzalez. I think she'd be fantastic if they didn't make her seem just unbeatable. And that's just a little bit of what bothers me there. But the match itself was interesting. It was well done. It's just we're really putting Raquel Gonzalez over, and we're really making Dakota Kai look like a scrub, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a lot to make Raquel look better, and I can see it. I see that they want to make her into that Rhea Ripley, where she just comes in and she dominates everybody. I'm just waiting for the eventual turn. There's got to be something between her and Dakota, because Dakota wants that single title as well. So it's going to translate that Sasha Bailey thing.
It's just for that particular match. It just seemed like, why are you tagging Dakota Kai in? Every time you're in there, you're dominating fools. Every time Dakota gets in, they get the upper hand. Like, why tag her in at all? And then you made a good point. If she is this dominant, why is Dakota got to jump on her back at the end to keep Shotzi down?
Yeah, the only thing I can think of in that scenario is they don't want to bury Shotzi. They still want to find a way to put her over. That she had to take that power slam, choke slam, whatever Raquel Gonzalez does as her finisher. That she put Shotzi down with this, and she didn't want her to take a clean pin. They wanted Dakota to come in to add a little extra to it, so now it looked impossible to kick out of two people laying on top of each other.
Right.
So I think they're doing it to protect Shotzi. I mean, they still put Raquel over. They've been putting Raquel over to the moon.
Well, that man also made an appearance. He made an appearance also. But moving on to the next match, Johnny Gargano and Kushida. And this was an entertaining match. I mean, is there anyone in, let's say, WWE, AEW maybe, but is there anyone other than Roman Reigns right now who knows his character better than Johnny Gargano?
There may not be. Let me tell you, and I've told you before, so I'm going to tell everybody who's listening to us, I just love Johnny Gargano's character. Everything about it. He's in the ring, I got to watch it. He's on the mic, I got to watch it. If he's just on the screen, he's going to do something interesting, and I've got to watch it. He's one of those people who's really just put together the complete package, and it all comes down to he knows his character. He knows exactly what his character needs to do. whatever he does, he's going to make his character interesting. He's going to make his character engaging, funny. He's going to make you watch. It's entertaining, and I love it. Love it.
Well, it feels like he's accomplishing what WWE wants Riddle to accomplish. And I know one's heel, one's face, but in essence, like, Riddle's character is supposed to be goofy, but in ring supposed to be like this serious technician. And I just don't feel it. I don't feel the same way about Riddle that I do about Johnny Gargano. I can watch Johnny Gargano be a complete goof and then turn around and be a badass, and I'm good with it. With Riddle, it's just like, let me just step on this dude's toes.
Riddle just seems dopey. That's what they have his character doing, and it's not working. They give him time, they give him the opportunity, so it's not for lack of chance. Absolutely. Now that on the main roster, I just don't think he's
right.
No. I could go without it.
Now we have what we feel is going to be unfortunate news involving Riddle, and you'll hear what that is later on. But we're gonna move on to the next match. Oh, before we move on to the next match, is Kushida not like one of the best in ring, at least? Like, goodness.
Yeah. I know we were talking earlier in the week, you know, how athletic, how talented he is. And there is that spot where he had Gargano up on the turnbuckle, and then they did the flip, and then he ended up going into the hoverlock while in midair, just doing his little flip, rotating the arm, landing without hurting anybody in real life. Impressive on its own. And then he puts them into the hoverlock. And I was like, wow, I got to go back. I got to watch that. I got to watch that in slow motion, because that was just impressive to see. That was really good. Kushida's really talented.
Now, next match. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a little bit. But I believe the next match was what I think is the match of the night. And that was MSK versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. And this match was ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. First of all, MSK is one of the most fantastic tag teams I've seen in a long time. I'm glad WWE is not wasting them. They're giving them a push right away. They're not trying to keep them in a bottom basement, whatever. And they're doing stuff that just don't make no damn sense. And then the Grizzled Young Veterans, they stepped it up. They stepped up. They did a lot of really fun stuff too. They were doing their main thing, where it's like, we're going to keep them away. We're going to do some technical stuff. But then the Doomsday outside. Oh.
Yeah, that was a nice spot to see. I mean, this match had a lot of action going both ways. It was a really fun match to watch, because it wasn't slow. It didn't drag out at all. It was pretty much action from the very beginning. It had you watching it. And, you know, when they hit spots like the Doomsday device on the outside, you're thinking, wow, is Wesley going to get up from this? Is he going to walk away from this? And,
I thought he was dead.
It was just really fun to watch, and I love what they're doing with MSK. I love how they're giving them that push, and to think that they first showed up for the Dusty Cup Classic and they just ran the table. They ended up as the champions, winners of the Dusty Cup. But when you watch them, they look like they've been doing this for years. Yeah, they've been doing this for years. They're comfortable on the mic. They're good on the mic.
Yeah.
They're absolutely fantastic in the ring. It's almost like a little bit better version of the Hardy Boys, if you will.
Mm. All right, moving on. I believe our women's match is next. Our triple threat, which is Yoshirai, Mercedes Martinez, and Toni Storm. This was a solid match. Don't get me wrong, it was a solid match. There's a lot of fun stuff, like what Io did on the outside, where she climbed up on that fixture and cross-bodied everybody on the outside. That was a lot of fun. I wish I would have saw more from Toni Storm. I mean, Toni Storm, I get it. You know, you got lots going on down below, but show that power. I mean, you know, I get you're in the ring with Mercedes Martinez, but it just felt like Toni Storm was like an afterthought more so in this, even though they're still trying to put her over, but it was almost like, let's show Mercedes Martinez what she can do. Yoshirai is just this ridiculous one, and then like Toni Storm was the other person.
You know, the more I think about this match, the more I think that they did a pretty good job of making them all look good. You know, you're thinking at the end, Storm hits Storm Zero on Martinez, he's trying to go for that pinfall, does that flying headbutt, and then, you know, Shirai comes in, and then she hits the moonsault onto both of them, and then she just pushes Toni Storm aside, and then just pins Martinez. So I think it made him look good, but I think Martinez, however it was going to go down, she was the one who's going to take the pin. I think you have something to build with Storm, Io Shirai. And I think that's what they were trying to go for. They want to protect both of them. So you throw that third person in the match, who happens to be Mercedes Martinez, and she just eats the pin.
Sure. Right. And I get that. And yes, because Storm didn't take the pin, and she was looking to get the pin before Io got. You can go forward with Io and Toni Storm, especially with, I mean, Raquel Gonzalez apparently trying to get tag titles. I mean, because, you know, whatever's going on there, because apparently in 2 weeks they're supposed to be going for tag titles. Everybody's going for tag titles, you know, hey. But we'll see how they progress that storyline. Next up, we've got the main event, which is Pete Dunne versus Finn Balor, and it was a solid match. I can go for a long time now without seeing someone's fingers bent the wrong direction. I'm good on that. You know, we're okay with that. Don't need that no more. But it wasn't spectacular. Like, this wasn't Pete Dunne, Finn Balor. It wasn't even Pete Dunne. It wasn't even it wasn't O'Reilly Finn Balor. But it wasn't even Pete Dunne O'Reilly. But it was still a good match. Like, these guys all have good matches. I'll let you talk about the match, because in my opinion, the big entertainment of the match came after the match. So.
Oh, absolutely. I think what I love about NXT, what I love about this card, is how they put everything together. It was a solid card. You know, you had 5 good matches. They didn't try and put more in there than what they could handle. They gave it 5. They gave each match its own time to kind of play out, so you get a good ending for it. And as we were talking earlier in the week, this card is one of those where I could have seen all my picks wrong, and I could have been happy with it. I could have seen all my picks right, I'd have been happy with it. And I wouldn't have had a problem with any outcome to any of these matches. And I think that speaks a lot to NXT and what they're doing with creative and how they're building storylines. So definitely I love watching NXT, so I really enjoyed TakeOver. For the viewers at home, coming into this match, I had a 9-5 lead on Sean. We both picked Moon and Blackheart to win. That didn't work out for either of us. We both picked MSK. We both picked Shirai. I picked Gargano because he's Johnny Takeover, and you don't bet against Johnny Takeover. And Sean, you know, rightfully so, picked Kushida because he's been doing well. So I had a 9-5 lead coming into this final match. I chose Pete Dunne as my winner, and Sean over here chose Finn Balor.
And I gave Finn Balor the top amount.
Yeah. I just gave Pete Dunne 1 because I wasn't really confident in it. But my train of thought was, you know, there's got to be a title drop somewhere on this card. right? Yeah,
Not
3
today,
titles up.
Galvatron.
One of them's got to drop. And if we want to see Karrion Kross with the title at any point, I don't think we have him take it off Finn. At least not. I want to build the WrestleMania. I want to see NXT, this championship in the not main event, but I want to see this defended at WrestleMania. So I'm thinking, what's the easiest way to get Karrion Kross the title? Well, you have Finn drop it to Pete Dunne because they've been having some really good matches. They've been going at each other, so you can see it going either way. And it's going to be a lot easier for Karrion Kross to take the title off Dunne than it would be for him to take it off Finn Balor. That was my thought process. I thought something shady was going to happen. I did. I thought there would be some level of interference somewhere. Now we're going to pause on that one, but I was really hoping for a Pat McAfee return. That's what I wanted to see. Want to see him come out.
And you did get it just a couple days late.
Yeah, just a few days late. If only I would have gotten it a little bit sooner. But what we saw between Pete Dunne and Finn Balor, could go down as one of those matches of the year. And
it could.
We're tired of seeing.
I don't think it will.
We're tired of seeing like the finger attack. We're tired of seeing the hand attack. But that was part of that whole match psychology with Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
He's going after. He's targeting specific pieces, and they did really well. They kept going back to it. They kept showing Finn in pain, so it wasn't as if he was just. They both sold it. They both did an excellent job with it. And trying to think where we were. So Pete lands a bitter ends toward the end of the match. We got a very, very close count there, almost a 3 count. Balor ended up going to 1916. The part I liked toward the end was Finn Balor takes Pete Dunne's mouth guard out, throws it aside, and then does that shotgun drop kick to his face. I really enjoyed. That was fun to watch. And then he landed the coup de grace. He did the 1916 on him, and that was really it for Pete Dunne. I mean, you could have seen this match going both ways. There is good action between the two, which I really enjoyed. It was really entertaining. Early match of the year, but still a lot of year left. And what happens after the match? Oni and Lorcan come out. Oni and Lorcan and Danny Burch come out. They start ruining the celebration. Then Undisputed Era comes out to save. I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right, so this is what we're talking about. The most entertaining part of the whole match comes after the match because Undisputed Era comes out. They're making the save. O'Reilly's out there basically telling Finn Balor he's the real champ. This and that. Strong sitting there trying to say to Pete Dunne, don't be a sore loser. They're doing the pose, so Finn's doing his own pose. Undisputed Era's doing their pose, and then here it comes. Adam Cole, super kick. Balor down. Adam Cole, and then Adam Cole and O'Reilly start getting an argument. And here it comes again. Super kick. O'Reilly down. Strong has no clue what to do. And it's just like, Adam Cole, no. But at the same time, you're like, if you're like me and you like heels, you're like, Adam Cole, yes.
Yeah.
I gravitate more to the heels, so it was very entertaining for me. It was great to see that happening.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed that. I knew there was going to be some heel interference somewhere. I just didn't expect it. From Adam Cole at the end. Am I glad I got it? You bet I am. That was fun to watch.
That being said, and we've proven it wasn't just a one-off. And then this past NXT, Adam Cole showed full-fledged heel. He went after O'Reilly first, put him down, then put Balor down. This is after Pat McAfee coming on, saying that Adam Cole's a piece of trash.
But Pat McAfee's been saying that for a while. It just took us this long to realize it. But I love what they're doing with this heel turn. I like what they're doing with Undisputed Era. You're thinking, no, we don't want Undisputed Era to separate, to break up. But, what stood out to me at the end of Vengeance Day was, Cole delivers the super kick to Finn. Okay, O'Reilly gets a little upset. Roderick Strong's over there like,
dope.
Doesn't know what to do. He's just staring, which is nice. And then he super kicks O'Reilly. And you just see Roderick Strong standing over to the side like, what just happened? He's not running over to help O'Reilly. Not even Finn. I mean, who's going to help Finn? He's just sitting there staring at O'Reilly. Adam Cole's walking out of the ring up the ramp. He's like, come on. And then you have Roderick Strong sitting there. And I think that was very telling for me that we're having a split. And I think Undisputed Era as a whole is turning heel. Now, whether O'Reilly wants to join or not, will be determined. Right. Not looking good for him.
Now, all that being said, I'm going to get this out first. I want to know what they're doing with Karrion Kross. Is he coming up to the main roster? Because let's be honest here, anybody else comes back and they get title shots right away. Finn Balor comes back, he gets a title shot right away. Roman Reigns comes back, he gets a title shot right away. Karrion Kross comes back, they got him going against scrubs. And I'm not saying Escobar's a scrub, I actually like Escobar, but like, he ain't in his class. He's a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
That's a snack.
Are we going to see Karrion Kross? Are we going to see Kross sporting the cruiserweight title? Well, I don't think he meets that criteria. Last I checked, he's a pretty big fella.
I mean, that's hell. What's the name? I can't remember his girl for the life of me, but she beat him. She's terrifying, I mind you, but Now, from that, we're gonna move on to Elimination Chamber, and we are going to be playing the game for the Elimination Chamber. So this is an Elimination Chamber preview. So we don't know if these matches are in order. We're just going to go ramble them off. So, Sean, what's the first match we got?
All right, and folks at home, feel free to play along. Just remember, it's a pay-per-view pick'em game. Not only are we trying to pick the winners, but we're also assigning point values to each match. That way, at the end, even if we have all the have different points in there, and the most points ends up winning. And so far, as he already mentions, he is 2-0. I am not doing so good with my picks. So this is my turnaround here. It's gonna happen.
How many matches we got going on?
That's the fun part. We have 6, and I said it with a question mark.
Oh,
we'll get to that in a moment. So.
Yes.
We'll go with 6 for now. But
let's go with the first match.
All right,
here.
So the first match, and again, this is no order. This is just how I had it written down. Our first match is for the U.S. title. Bobby Lashley, the champion, is defending against Riddle, and also defending against Keith Lee in a triple threat match. But we're not even sure if Keith Lee's going to be in this match because he's dealing with some injuries. So this could very well just be a one-on-one between Bobby Lashley and Riddle. And for me, it doesn't change the outcome because as much as I want to see Bobby Lashley drop the U.S. title so he can go after Drew for the WWE title, at least for that opportunity, I don't think it's going to happen yet. And I certainly don't think it's going to happen in this match. I have a hard time seeing either Riddle or Lee taking the belts off him because Lee, where's he been recently? I know, not even real life stuff, but storyline stuff. Where has Keith Lee been? They haven't used it much. I don't think they're going to give him a title now. I think it's much too soon. There hasn't been much of a push to get him there. Could this be the start of something? Could this start a Keith Lee versus Bobby Lashley versus the Hurt Business? Hey, it could. I'd like to see something like that. But I don't think Lee takes the title off now. And Riddle's been getting thrown around like a little rag doll. And I think Bobby Lashley's going to do the same thing. They've built Bobby Lashley up to be this unstoppable force. And I don't think Riddle's going to be the one who's going to be able to stop him, at least not at this match.
All right, so now I'm going a different direction. I think they do want to push Bobby Lashley for the world title. I think they wanted to set up a triple threat match to not take away from Bobby Lashley. And even if Keith Lee's not in, I can see some shenanigans going on, because this is WWE's, this is what they do. They take a guy, they make him lose a bunch, and all of a sudden they give him a freaking title. I mean, this is kind of what they do. And I honestly could see them thinking, we're going to give Riddle the title. Because this is gone. He's been getting dominated by the Hurt Business over and over and over. And I could see them literally saying, let's just give him, let's have him get the upper hand the once. And that's to get him the title so Bobby Lashley can move on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, I mean, it could be very well like that women's title match at Vengeance. They threw Mercedes Martinez in there. I mean, she did good in the match, but she was really there to eat the pin. That way you're protecting the other two. So for this one, I got Bobby Lashley with 4.
And I'm going to give Riddle 1.
Riddle with 1. All right. Our next match I have listed, and this one just blows my mind in many different directions, is the Raw Women's title. We have Asuka, the defending champion, who hasn't really defended much, against Lacey Evans, or to be determined, still being advertised to my knowledge, so we're counting this as a 6th match. So I got a lot of frustrations with this match. I'm going to get sidetracked. I'm going to come back, okay? I'm going to come back.
Here's the thing. I'll give mine first. And okay. I'm going to cop out here. I'm a cop out. I'm taking Asuka for 3. Unless it's Alexa Bliss. Then I take Alexa Bliss for 3.
Okay, I'll give you that. And you're thinking, all right. And here's where my problem began. Okay, what is Raw Creative doing with this? When was the last time that Asuka really defended her title? Not let's have her go against Lana and it end in a no contest or disqualification. Not let's have her go against Alexa and then it gets interrupted and we have like a no contest disqualification. When was the last time that she actually defended the title? I think it was definitely last year at some point. What are they doing with her? Oh,
I didn't.
And then you have Lacey in the pregnancy, right? She comes out on Raw. She's not even going to participate in the tag match because she says she's pregnant. But even before that match, she said that she was going to get Asuka's title this Sunday. And I'm thinking, what?
But she's really pregnant, so she's not going to be wrestling.
I know, and I get that. I'm okay with that being part of the storyline. But what I'm confused at is, why did Lacey say before the match, you're going to gift me that title? And maybe that's the key word. Maybe gifting is something that WWE is going to throw in there to swerve, to really...
It's kind of how Asuka got it.
I don't know, screw things up. Exactly. Isn't that the irony? That she only got the title because Becky Lynch had relinquished to her because she won Money in the Bank because of Becky Lynch's own pregnancy. Now, that's a little irony for you. Are they going to tie that together? Maybe. Do we see a swerve where somehow, without even fighting, without him getting into a match, Lacey Evans gets that title? Maybe. No.
Nonsense.
Who is that to be determined going to be? Could it be Peyton Royce as Lacey's replacement since she's her tag partner? No, it could be, but I think we haven't seen much of Peyton. She's been underutilized this whole time. I've a hard time seeing her in a championship match. The last time that Asuka was involved. Yeah, that's another one. We haven't seen Ripley since the Royal Rumble when she had a really nice debut in the Rumble. she's been quiet. She hasn't been on NXT. She hasn't been on main roster. You know, if there's any time to get a pop out of her and get some excitement, boom. Because now, if you get Ripley in there, Ripley takes the title, and then you can set up Ripley and Flair at WrestleMania. Now, that's something you'd want to watch, right? For me, it is.
Right. And this time, get it right.
Maybe it's... Yeah. Yes, please. Yes, please. And maybe it's going to be Charlotte, because last time Asuka was involved in a match that had a to be determined, it was TLC back in December. And guess who showed up as Asuka's partner? The to be determined Flinch, or Charlotte Flair. Maybe to be determined is Charlotte Flair again. Maybe.
How crazy would it be to have Charlotte in a league with Rick and Lacey? Because that's something WWE would do.
Ooh. It would be fun to see. It would be entertaining to see. You could see it from a creative side. I just couldn't see it storyline side. How Lacey is,
right.
You know, the storyline is she's pregnant with Rick's child, and I don't know how Charlotte would feel about.
It'd be weird. Let's get weird.
Brother. Yeah, I mean, that would get really weird. For me, what I wanted to see, and I was writing these notes before I found out that there was another women's match, which we'll get to in a couple of moments. But what I wanted to see was, you know, for this title, let's just create an Elimination Chamber match, right? We don't have any storylines built for anybody with Asuka, so have Asuka in the chamber, defending against Charlotte, defend against Ripley, defend against Alexa, Nia, and Shayna. Just throw them all in there. Whoever wins, just wins. That's what I would have wanted to see. Where we're going to get it? No, there was no chance for us to get that.
I'll move on to the next match. So tell them why.
Match. We have no idea who's going to win this match. So I got Asuka 2 because of the unknown. So I guess if I could take a page from your book, I'll do Asuka for 2 unless it's Rhea. Then I'm changing to Rhea for 2. That's what I got for this one.
All right, so on to the next match.
So, the next match, and this is another one that killed me with creative, is the women's tag title. In a very felt like impromptu thrown together within the last 12 hours, it is going to be Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending their titles against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. All right, so as much as I want to see Jax and Baszler drop their titles so they can do a singles push, because I really want to see Baszler, right? Want to see her come back, challenge that woman's title. It's not going to drop it to Banks and Bianca. Why are Banks and Bianca forming a team to begin with? Why are they doing this? They're on a road to WrestleMania. Like, they have that inevitable matchup down the line, 2 months, where they're going to battle in WrestleMania. Why are you doing this whole tagging and partnering?
Yeah, I'm not going to waste too much time on this. I can tell you why. The whole reasoning exactly is Vince is obsessed with the idea of face versus heel. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to see face versus face or heel versus heel, which he doesn't understand in today's wrestling climate. It doesn't matter. It's okay for Sasha Banks to be a face and Bianca Belair to be a face, and for them to face each other. They don't have to team up and show camaraderie. You don't have to have them be a tag team to eventually show that one of them's an asshole and they break up and one's a heel. You don't need that. Fans can be conflicted on who they like. It's okay. But that being said, this match in particular, I'm going to give it to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, but I'm going to give it a 2 because I don't trust these matches with WWE. I really don't.
Yeah.
That's all I got on that one.
I felt the same way. So I have Jackson Baszler for 1, just because I'm so confused. I don't know how to feel about this. We're going to move on. All right. Next, we have the Raw Men's Elimination Chamber, where it will be Drew McIntyre defending against former champions, AJ Styles, Sheamus, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, and Kofi Kingston. That's what we have in the Raw Men's Elimination Chamber.
This match is going to be fun.
It is. I really think it is. I'm really hoping it's going to be. I hope it lives up because, I mean, we're thinking the last 2 pay-per-views that WWE has done have been well. They've been good. They've been entertaining. They've been engaging. We're thinking the Royal Rumble, they finally got it right. Both of them, they had a pretty solid card. NXT Vengeance Day, knocked it out of the park with. So they're on a roll here, and that needs to continue, right? For me, that needs to continue. Now, there's certain parts of this card that look like it's been thrown together in a sandbox somewhere, and that's fine. I'm hoping they do something good comes out of it. But, you know, Raw Men's Elimination Chamber. You know, Jeff Hardy has no storyline here with Drew. I think he's only in this match so he can hit a swanton bomb off the top of the pod. I think that's what it's going to be. It's similar for Kofi Kingston. I think maybe not the swanton. Maybe he's got to climb up on the cage and do something jumping off the cage just to create some excitement for this match. So I don't have either of those two winning. Orton is busy with Alexa and the Fiend, so we're going to count him out. AJ's here to make this match look good, but I don't think AJ's walking down to it. I think this one's coming down to Sheamus and Drew, because that's what they've been setting it up for. And is this going to be a little kind of foreshadowing of what we're going to see with WrestleMania if they decide to go Sheamus with Drew? Could be. When they come down one-on-one. But I got Drew going over on this one. I have Drew retaining. I have Drew retaining with 5.
I have Drew retaining with 6. I'm going 6 on this one. I just don't see them having them drop the belt this close to WrestleMania, personally. Especially when you've got certain ideas floating around, like Bobby Lashley, if he drops his title, have Bobby Lashley WrestleMania, or maybe Karrion Kross, because I'm hearing a possible main roster push, and that'd be a fantastic WrestleMania card, Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre. Not to mention, he's been the champion that they need right now for this time period. So I don't see him dropping it to Sheamus. I really don't. Not to mention, WWE has this formula they usually do. They had Drew lose to Sheamus on Raw right before a pay-per-view. Normally, when you come to the pay-per-view, they have the person who lost win. It's part of the formula. So that's where I'm leaning right now. And now, on a side note, real quick, I would like to see a certain return in the Elimination Chamber. Maybe somebody doesn't even make it out of their chamber.
Yes. You know, this is something we had talked about before, and I'm thinking, and for you guys at home, we're referring to the Fiend's Bray Wyatt making a return, because we haven't seen him in a little while. And what I'd love to see is I'd love to see something where Randy's in his pod, right, and he's waiting to come out. All of a sudden, your lights go down. You know it's going to be the Fiend somewhere. And then the lights come back up, and the Fiend is in the pod with Randy Orton. Just throws on that mandible claw, takes him out. You wouldn't be able to do this last year, right? I mean, in this chamber, no fans. So, you know, that's
right.
Oh, Bray Wyatt in there. That's what they can do in there. Yeah, create that storyline with Randy Orton, right? WWE, follow us for more advice. Wait. All right. Yes, cover picks there. We have 2 left. Our next one is going to be the Smackdown Men's Elimination Chamber. Now, this one, the winner does not get a title, but the winner gets a title later on in the show against Roman Reigns. They get a title shot. So, we got Kevin Owens versus Cesaro versus Jey Uso versus Sami Zayn versus King Corbin versus Daniel Bryan for the right to face Roman Reigns later in the night. For me,
I think we're both going to agree on this one.
Oh, well, I'm curious about this. Who do you got?
I'm going Daniel Bryan.
We disagree on this one, sir. How many points you giving Daniel Bryan?
I'm giving Daniel Bryan 5. I'm going hard with it.
Wow. I hope when you're doing your editing here, you insert like those sound of brakes screeching.
Who you got?
Yeah,
Who you got?
I mean, we know that Vince loves his face versus heel matchups, especially when it comes to those championship bouts. So, I think we can remove 2 of the heels right away, Sami Zayn and King Corbin, just because they're heels and they don't really have any storylines built with Omen. So, throw them out. I could see Jey Uso winning just to set up a little finger poke of doom later on in the night. A little Hogan versus Nash. It wouldn't surprise me with that storyline, but are they going to come back to it? It could be intriguing. You think if Jey wins, does he actually give a legit fight against Roman? Does he challenge the head of the table again? Does that tension within the family? Does Roman?
We've already done this
again. I know we've already done it. So that's why That's why I crossed out off my list. I'm like, all right, all heels, you're out. Let's move on to our faces. And I'm thinking, please not Kevin Owens, right? We've seen this for the last 3-4 pay-per-views in a row, and Roman keeps finding ways to win. Is it legit? Yeah, not so much. But, we're getting tired of seeing it. I think the last one was.
Last one was legit. I don't care what you say.
And then we got Daniel Bryan, who's been on a losing streak. Now, what he's been doing recently is putting folks over. He's been doing a good job of it, but he just doesn't have any momentum going his way. So I'm like, I want to see Daniel Bryan, because like that Edge Daniel Bryan match would be a great thing to see, especially in WrestleMania for a title. I have a hard time with Daniel Bryan. And this is the guy I picked to win the Rumble, so it was really hard for me to say that one. I was all for the yes movement. And then we get Cesaro. Speaking of guys getting put over, there's Cesaro, who's been having a nice push recently. But is he ready for the main event? So my pick for this is Kevin Owens with 3, and I just said a few moments ago, I'd rather not see this one. But it is what it is. I think we're going to get Owens.
I messed up on my things.
I don't feel good.
I messed up on my things. I'm actually going to switch up, not to Kevin Owens. I got Roman, because Roman's having the match, right?
It's going to be later on in the card. It's going to be Roman versus whoever wins.
All right, Roman's my number 5. And then my number, let's see, I did pick 4, right? Who did I pick at 4? No, I didn't pick 4.
No, you didn't pick a 4 yet.
I don't think I picked. My 4 is Cesaro. I'm taking Cesaro.
See, look at that. I just persuaded you. I hope this doesn't backfire on me.
I completely forgot about Cesaro.
I'm going to put an asterisk next to this one just in case I lose because of Cesaro.
Yeah,
he's gonna be the reason I lose 3 pay-per-views in a row. Yeah, 6 on Drew, 5 on Roman. Yep.
All right.
And then we have Universal title, which is going to be Roman versus whoever wins the men's Elimination Chamber from SmackDown. Row 5. I got Roman with 6. I think they're just building an Edge versus Roman WrestleMania, and I'm gonna love it. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see Roman get distracted by losing his title, have to chase it back and get it back. Don't even, just cut that out. Just do Edge versus Roman straight on. Have a lot of mic work between now and then.
Right. Don't pull what you did with Drew and Orton and all that nonsense.
What I would like to see tomorrow night is maybe Edge makes an appearance at the Elimination Chamber. Maybe he confronts Roman during, before, after the match. I don't know.
Moving on to, we just wanted to tie all that up. Just letting everybody know we will be addressing AEW and some of the other ones that are going on. Is just we wanted to get some of the WWE stuff out there first, but we will. And one of that aspects we wanted to discuss at the end here is with how the Dusty Cup went with MXK and how that looked. How is the tag division for WWE shaping up in comparison to, let's say, an AEW? Because I think AEW's tag division is actually really nice right now. They're doing a good job of getting young talent in and kind of having a nuance on who wins, who loses. It's not as big of a deal that some of these guys aren't going to be contenders. Where with the Dusty Cup, but NXT showed that they have a tag division and it can be pretty solid. And the two guys I know your opinion, but I still want to see Ciampa and and my guy be a tag for a little while. To just call them two angry men. That you know,
two angry dudes.
Like those two. Those two, I don't know. I like them as a tag, but how come the quote unquote main roster can't do this? Like, why do we have a female tag match just completely shoehorned in, and we have no male tag matches? Why is it that the men's, like SmackDown men's tag title holders are trying to go for the universal title instead of saying, you know something, we hold titles. We're happy with the titles we hold. This is the problem with the tag division in WWE, especially on the main roster. Everyone thinks that they're going to go for some sort of world title instead of taking your world tag team titles. Sorry, I went on a little rant there, but your thoughts on this, because I know you got some thoughts also.
I got a lot of thoughts on this. The reason that AEW is doing better when it comes to the tag division, they have dedicated tag teams. They have stories built with the tag teams. So what is WWE's main roster lacking? They're lacking dedicated tag teams. They're lacking stories for these dedicated tag teams because they want them to tag, but then they also want them to compete in singles matches. No, you one or the other. If they're a tag team, they're a tag team. Create the storyline, build the storylines there.
But AEW even does that. They do have their tag people from singles matches, but they're still just going to be they're still part of just a tag team. I think one of the big things here is it's almost like they've made the tag titles not ambitious enough.
Yeah, I think if you consolidate tag titles, you say across the brands, they just have one set of tag titles. I think that solves the problems right there, because you're thinking, we don't have enough talent on Raw. We don't have enough talent on Smackdown to do singles and tag. Combine the title like the women's division did. It was a great idea. The women's division doesn't have separate titles. You're thinking Shayna and Nia just showed up on NXT this week, and they were there to they were doing a little with Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai because they're going after the tag titles. One set of titles, all the divisions. Do that with the men's. Consolidate them. That way you have Raw, SmackDown against SmackDown.
And stop
Raw,
getting rid of tag teams. Stop getting rid of tag teams.
But I think if you consolidate the titles, you have one title across all brands, I think that problem just eliminates itself, because now you can have people go out and do their singles thing. Now you have more tag teams available to go after those titles.
Right.
So now you'll have but New Day and Hurt Business.
Let's be honest here, though. We had the Barbarian Raiders. Whoa. Poof. Vanished in the thin air. We've had multiple tag teams. Poof. Vanish in the thin air. And get rid of the stupid 24/7 title. because you had all these lower card tag teams going for that. Why?
24/7 title. Come on. You have to admit, your favorite champion of that was the gobbledygooker. Actually, my favorite champion so far is Doug Flutie.
He's got to be a champion of something. All right.
Yeah.
But that's all we got for you today. We're gonna come back with more content next week. Hopefully, we're gonna be bright and early again. But till then, we're gonna be signing off. Sean, anything fun to let the people know for their weekend?
For the weekend, tune into Elimination Chamber. Do some predictions with us. Play the game. See if you win. See if you can do as well as TJ did, predicting the winners. As always, wash your fruits and vegetables.
Cake flips are not advised.